This episode of The Patch is sponsored by Hulu Plus. Hulu Plus lets you binge on thousands of hit shows anytime, anywhere, on your TV, PC, smartphone, or tablet. Support this podcast and get an extended free trial of Hulu Plus when you go to huluplus.com/patch. That's huluplus.com/patch.
This episode of The Patch is sponsored by NatureBox. Order great tasting, healthy snacks right to your door. Forget the vending machine and get in shape for summer with healthy, delicious treats like everything bagel sticks. Support this podcast and get 50% off your first order. Go to naturebox.com/thepatch.
On it.
Hey everyone, welcome to The
Hello.
Patch.
The Patch.
The authority on video game discussions
Absolutely.
in the
We're
world.
It's like our gaming and our games mixed into one right here.
We're so credible.
This week with Gus
Ashley,
Ray.
and Gus,
Yeah.
also known as Ray Sr.
you don't sound very enthusiastic about the second Gus we've got on today.
No, I'm excited to have Ray
Double
here.
Gus action. No?
Yeah, I'm a little intimidated. He's like the younger, better looking version of me. I had to shave
But
my
I strive to be that when I grow up.
I had to shave my beard
Yeah.
in order to differentiate myself. Okay, so yesterday I got about 5 billion tweets
Oh,
sent
did something
to me.
happen yesterday?
Yeah, something
Yeah.
happened. Apparently, it was the day before the Candy Crush IPO. Everyone wanted me to talk about that today.
Got it.
Now, everyone wanted to be the first to tell me that Oculus was purchased by Facebook.
For a lot of money.
For $2 billion.
Lot of money.
Or 1/8 of a WhatsApp, or 1/10 of a WhatsApp.
Yeah, the calculation comes out funny because WhatsApp was 19 million,
Yeah.
so it's not.
Let's say 1/10. Or
yeah.
4 times.
Has WhatsApp
Maker.
been around for a while? I found out about it like a few months ago.
I used to use it when I was living in Australia because a lot of the overseas mobile manufacturers, I guess, they are not manufacturers. Sorry, they're like the telcos. They still charge you per text,
Oh, okay.
and it could be like a quarter, whereas the data was way cheaper.
Yeah.
So that's what I used for texting and also internationally too.
It's like
for
a
ages and ages.
iMessage if your phone doesn't have iMessage for like non-iOS devices.
Yeah.
Or pre
Yeah.
iMessage.
Yeah, it is
Pretty
nice that you can do it cross-platform too. So.
Well, that's old news.
Yeah.
The current hotness is Oculus being purchased by Facebook for $2 billion.
People are so mad.
Yeah, people are mad.
People and people have been telling me, tweeting at me like, "Oh, it turns out you were right. You were right." Like, I'm not right. I did not predict that. I would love to take credit and say that I was right about that. I did not see that coming in a billion years.
No, I think maybe they're telling you that you're right because now everyone suddenly thinks that day before yesterday, I
Yeah.
guess, Oculus was the greatest thing on the planet. Now,
And then just like that,
totally going
everybody
to
hates
fail,
them.
which, you sort of
we'll see.
predicted.
I mean, Facebook doesn't have the best track record they're a software company. They're not a hardware company. In fact, we had to look it up. I was like, didn't Facebook make a phone? And yeah, last year they had the the HTC First, which is
great.
which was a Facebook phone
Yeah.
that
Which everyone uses.
Debuted at $99 and was almost immediately discounted to 99 cents.
Now I kind of want to get one of those. If you can get one for $1, just
And now it's the HTC Second. So I mean, they're very focused on social and web development. I don't know how Oculus fits into that strategy. I guess like the big platform for them is obviously advertising and games. Microtransactions. I just don't
Do you
see
think
it.
they just have so much money? They're like, we'll buy it, see what happens. If not, they'll just eat it.
Yeah.
It's no big deal.
Yeah, it seems like that's going to be the eventual path. Well, I mean, that's what I would think.
Yeah.
In like 3 years, you'll hear like, oh yeah, they discontinued it.
Yeah.
They disbanded the team. They sold off the intellectual
People are already
property.
giving up on the Oculus Rift. They're like, Sony, what's the Sony thing? The
Morpheus.
They're like, you're the new one. Please don't disappoint us.
Well, at the time when Sony announced the Morpheus, I didn't understand why they were making their own headset.
That was
like,
this week, right? Or was
It was last week
week,
at
right?
GDC. I thought, well, if they're going to do this, why not just use the Oculus? Why don't we just standardize on VR headsets?
Yeah.
Now Sony looks like a fucking genius making their own headset.
Well, Oculus said that they weren't really interested in consoles in the first place. To hear the founder, Palmer Luckey, tell it, like, consoles can't do anything.
Right, but I think the EVE Online people were making that Valkyrie game for the PS4. I guess they were going to use Oculus on the PC and maybe Morpheus on
Yes,
the PS4.
that's
Okay, that makes a lot
exactly
more
right.
sense.
And to some degree, I actually get it. The parallel he drew is that they want to be able to make iterations and improvements every year, and with PC, there's always new hardware coming out. It's always becoming more powerful, whereas consoles, they have a life cycle of, what was the last one, like 7-8 years for the last generation?
8 years, I think, for the Xbox 360,
Xbox.
2005 to last year.
Yeah, not to say that Xbox 360's life span is over, but now there is a new iteration.
So this is a guy. Okay, so let me get this straight.
Okay, here we go.
So this guy's selling you a computer peripheral that he's telling you he wants to make it outdated every year and make you buy a new one every year. It's like if you bought a mouse and like the mouse manufacturer's like, well, fuck that mouse. That one's old. Here's the new mouse.
Kind of.
Shouldn't
It's a never-ending circle.
Yeah, it's a never-ending circle of money for them.
But at the same time, a lot of PC gamers are used to that upgrading. I mean, they just announced a 5K ready GPU that's going to cost like $3,000 just on its own.
I think it was a 6K GPU. It's the
God.
the NVIDIA Titan X.
At some point, I can't count that high.
to me.
Yeah, it's supposed to support 6K resolution. I think it has 12 gigabytes of onboard video RAM. If memory, I'm working off memory here. It was not in my talking points, but I'm pretty sure it's 12 gigabytes of video RAM, which is absolutely ridiculous.
That's a lot of money for one piece.
Yeah, it's an important piece though.
Yeah, it is.
But that's the kind of stuff that PC can do.
Yeah.
You know, and who knows how cheap that's going to be in 2 years.
Yeah, it's true. Like, I mean, I've got a gaming PC with two 780, GTX 780s. I thought that was awesome. Now
Brag
it's like,
about it.
Yeah, now this shit comes out. I gotta fucking buy new shit. Forget
They're
about
like
it.
outdated within months. It's like, oh, this is the top thing, and then months later, it's like, all right, well, I mean, it was cool. Thanks.
I guess 2 gigabytes of video was fine. What about 12? So I guess related to the Oculus news, I guess Notch has said that they're not going to make Minecraft for the Oculus Rift after all. Which
Finds
is
Facebook creepy.
Yeah, he finds Facebook creepy.
He's actually very level-headed about his explanation, though. I mean, he was saying that that Facebook doesn't have a great history with games in general. That Facebook basically decided they wanted to be more social, and so they more or less forced all the game developers to head in that social direction. And a lot of game developers are actually leaving Facebook now because the mobile market's kicked up so much. But he finds Facebook, creepy because of all the information that it stores and is looking at.
It's funny you say that the game developers are leaving Facebook because that's a great segue to the King IPO, which happened today. So the makers of Candy Crush, King Entertainment or whatever, had their IPO today. New York Stock Exchange. Their symbol's King, King.
Oh God.
It debuted at $22.50, and I believe it closed the day at $19, which is like down 15%.
Fuck you, King.
I'm just
So it's
rooting against them because I kind of feel like they're big jerks.
Yeah.
So I don't play their games. I don't have an opinion on the games themselves. I just think the company's kind of a jerk, so I want it to go down.
Well, if you think about it this way, this will make you feel even better about it. So if their IPO was initially valuated, I think it was at $7.6 billion. But for ease of math, I'll say we'll round down to $7 billion.
Okay.
If they lost 15% of their value, they lost $1 billion today. They lost half of Oculus Rift.
I'm so happy. They lost
straps.
Instagram.
They lost on Instagram.
Yeah.
Yeah. I guess people were not excited about it. And a few weeks ago when we were talking about it, we didn't really understand it. We speculated at the time that this would happen and that it wouldn't really succeed because this is a platform. This is where your segue kicks in. Apparently they have their website. I don't know what it is. It's like
King.com.
Something like it's like Candy King. I think it's Candy Kingdom or something like that.
Cute.
And you go and they have a whole bunch of games, and it's kind of like their test bed. It's where they see how people play the games, what games are popular, and that's what helps them determine what to turn into an app and make mobile.
So how have any of their games made it past made it into the real life beyond Candy Crush? Because isn't that the only one that people play?
Well, Candy Crush accounts for 78% of their revenue.
So yes, basically.
But they have 3 of the top 10 highest grossing apps in the iTunes store as well as the Android marketplace.
All time or current?
Current.
Okay.
So it's obviously Candy Crush Saga, Farmville Heroes.
They're behind. They're not behind Farmville.
I'm sorry, not Farmville Heroes. Something else Heroes. It's something Heroes. I gotta
Candy
look it
Heroes,
up.
Saga Heroes,
It might
Hero
be Candy
Saga.
Heroes.
Are all their games just like rehashes of other games like Candy Crush is obviously like Bejeweled?
So it's funny you say that. I've
Jeff's been playing that game nonstop, like the man he is, and he's like,
Bejeweled
he comes into the
Bejeweled or Candy
Crush. He comes to the achievement owner office, like, yeah, I got past level 90, whatever. We're like, Jeff, way to
Imagine all
go.
the
What does that
peppermints.
mean? Yeah.
Farm Heroes.
Okay.
Seriously. So you could see why I confused it with Farmville Heroes. So I was listening to an interview with the CEO. He was on CNBC this morning talking about their IPO and their portfolio and stuff. And he actually mentioned Bejeweled. He's like, we know how to make these great games. And he's like Candy Crush Saga, Bejeweled. I was like, he fucking said it.
He made Bejeweled.
Is no one going to call him out on it? It was fucked up.
Maybe he used to work at PopCap and worked on Bejeweled at PopCap and then made it
I'm
jump
sorry,
and
I'm
decide to
sorry.
do something else.
It's
trying to give him the benefit of the doubt.
Farm Hero Saga.
Oh, of course it is.
And Papa Gear Saga, Pet Rescue Saga. I think Pet Rescue Saga was the other like super popular one.
I've never
But they
heard
have
of any of these games.
They have a catalog. This is a company that's been around since 2003. I learned today. They've been around a long time. They have a catalog of over 180 games. One game accounts for 78% of their revenue. That's a fucking warning sign.
You know what's another weird thing?
And they're also dicks.
Yeah, and they're
Trying to
dicks.
trademark Candy and Saga.
Jesus. Banner Saga. I heard a weird stat that a 0.5% of mobile game players account for over 50% of mobile game microtransaction revenue. They're the whales. 0.5% of gamers do half the spending on all mobile games. That's a lot.
Is the other half
Is
of the
that like
spending?
in-game purchases or actual like games?
I think it's in-game purchases, all the microtransaction stuff. And all I can think of is those are like the 9-year-olds who are just buying all the stuff on their iPad and pissing their parents off.
I was going to say, is the other 50% 9-year-olds and drunk people who were like hitting the wrong buttons? Yeah, that's a crazy stat.
I mean, do you remember there was that kid in the UK who ran up like I want to say it was $10,000, but I'm sure that, I hope that's way off. I'm going to look it up though, because it was an insane amount of money that he just ran up in a couple of minutes on his iPad.
Yeah, well, before people used to always worry, when the App Store first launched, there were apps like that one that was called I'm Rich, which was a $10,000 app.
I remember that. It was like just a red jewel.
Yeah,
or something.
It just had a red jewel on it.
Yeah.
Okay, I was way off. It was $1,600. That's still a lot of money.
Yeah, that's it.
In just a few minutes. Yeah, that's fucked up.
Oh, and here's another one for $6,000.
See, and the thing that pisses me off about that
how does
is
that happen?
people get
know.
upset about that, right?
Yeah.
So now, Apple and Google have to put in protection. So, before you make a microtransaction, they make you type in your password
and
again.
everything, yeah.
I don't want to type my password. I wish I could flag my account like, I know what I'm doing. Don't make me retype my shit.
Like there should be like an I'm a big boy setting.
Yeah, right. Because now when I get it, I'm like, if my Touch ID doesn't work, I'm like, I don't want to type my password. Yeah.
Oh, you got the one with the one with the thumb sensor?
If my thumb sensor
How
like
does that
doesn't
work?
It works okay. It works better than I expected, but it's not perfect.
Can you do all your fingers?
You can do 8, I think.
We figured out.
Fuck you, other two fingers.
Fuck you, thumbs.
We figured out that that Joe the cat is able to work the screens. Well, not work them, but the screens on the iPhone respond to him. So we have a theory that, and this is inspired by Gavin, that we could totally use Joe the cat's butthole.
Or you
that.
could use his paw,
I mean-
if you want to keep it sanitary.
No, his paws are filthy. They're probably worse than
Filthier
his
than his
paws.
ass.
Probably.
She's tearing up.
Yeah.
She's so fucking proud of this. She's like got the tears in her eyes with the
little Joe.
laughter. That's so funny. Yeah, God, that's so gross. I can't imagine living a life where my butthole is cleaner than my hand. That's awful.
That's cat life.
Yeah. In other news, in other ridiculous gaming news, this is something Ashley pointed out to me earlier, that Wolfenstein: The New Order has a collector's bundle coming out for $100 that does not include the game.
And they tout it like that's a great thing.
It comes with a little mechanical, what do they call it, a Panzerhound? It's
The mechanical like dog thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that looks really cool, but the whole thing is $100.
Panzerhund.
And the Panzerhund is the only thing that I can see being the super valuable part, although it looks like there's some art books and other stuff as well, which is cool, but is it $100 cool if you don't even get the game? I mean,
Well,
it's
what
no
if you don't want the game, you just want the
Titanfall
statue?
magic. There's no Titanfall 15-inch statue or whatever that was. That was pretty
Or
big.
what if you play the game, you really like it, and then you're like, all right, I guess I'll get the stuff.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah.
They're only making 5,000 though.
You got to make the commitment now.
Yeah.
If not, it's going to end up at a fucking garage sale for like $5.
Yeah, I guess they were saying that they're like, this is so cool because this means that we can send it to you before the game comes out. You don't have to wait.
Well, they're spinning it, yeah.
Yeah.
Why would they do that? Like,
Maybe trying something new.
Why? Yeah, but I mean, I
don't
guess
know.
if it's an experiment, if it's just 5,000, they can see how it goes. But I don't understand the market for it. I guess like who would be like, yes, I'm.
Well,
gonna get
people
that.
like collecting statues and stuff. People do like art books and
right,
whatnot.
but they
same
like
time,
the
if you're
games
They
too.
also do like the game, yeah.
It's like it should at least come with like a download code and be like,
Yeah.
you can't get the game now, but the day
But
the
when
game's
it comes
available,
out-
you can
No.
put this code in and you can get the game.
Exactly.
So I don't know. It seems weird to me. They also had other news. Today's the 26th. Yeah, they had other news today. They brought up their release dates. So now the
You
game is
rarely
launched.
see a game coming out earlier than anticipated.
The game is launching globally May 20th. Previously, it was going to launch Australia May 22nd and Europe May 23rd, and the US, of course, May 20th.
I think May 20th is also when that giant limited edition thing comes out.
Really?
I think so.
You gotta look that up.
I am looking that up right now because that is
I'm excited for that
ridiculous
game.
if it's true.
It looks like batshit crazy.
I love Wolfenstein
Yeah,
games.
Wolfenstein games.
So this is like the Nazis won World War
Yeah.
II, and you're living in a world in the 1960s where Nazi Germany took over the world.
Do you see the trailer of like the train scene for the new Wolfenstein?
No, I haven't seen that.
It's like a really like intense. It's like a cinematic scene, but it's just like sets the mood. It's very tense, and I don't know. It's got me really anticipated for
May
the game.
20th.
May 20th. Wow.
May 20th. The current estimated ship date's May 20th.
So it doesn't even come out early now.
No.
Whoops.
A problem? Well, it's weird to me that it would be a very serious cinematic sequence because the Wolfenstein games are normally like very over the top and kind of tongue in cheek.
Yeah. Well, the last one that came out for 360 wasn't really that great, but it took. I think it took itself pretty seriously, if I remember correctly. It's not like Mecha Hitler kind of thing, but
Now, isn't that the one that led to the lawsuits between Bethesda and the previous developers? Or no.
No, that was Fallout.
We're thinking of not even Fallout. No, I'm thinking of Duke Nukem.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. I have a guilty something to
Yeah.
confess.
What's your guilty something?
So I don't know if you remember Wolfenstein Enemy Territory. It was like a
Yeah.
multiplayer game you can play. I loved that game so much. I was actually in an online clan
were you really?
for Enemy Territory.
What was your clan name?
Wait, how is that a guilty secret that you were in
I
a
don't know.
clan?
I make fun of people who play a game so much that they're in clans. It's like, and I did it once. It's like I was so into Enemy Territory. I don't even remember my clan name anymore.
See, I would say that earns you the badge of honor to be able to make fun of those people because you've been there.
Like for me,
been- yeah.
that's different than a guild, like in World of Warcraft, or like a clan and an
no,
online
it's,
game.
it's
just
really not. It's
different,
the exact same
rebranded.
thing.
In an MMO, you can like share shit. In another game where you're just in a guild, you
Like,
just
it's
like
also,
modify
like-
your tag and like put like a little.
Yeah, but it also you have people to game with all the time. You can go into matches. You
I guess
actually
in WoW
know
you
the
actually
people
like
you're
need to
playing
be in a
with.
guild to do a lot of things. Where in like Enemy Territory, like you don't need to be in a clan to do anything.
Yeah.
It's just
You're just playing. That was a fun game. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to that new Wolfenstein game.
Yeah, it looks good. Looks
Okay,
pretty.
I'm gonna read this thing. I want to remind everyone this episode of The Patch is brought to you by Hulu Plus. You've probably tried Hulu.com. Hulu Plus is so much more. With Hulu Plus, you can watch your favorite shows anytime, anywhere. Hulu Plus lets you watch thousands of hit TV shows and movies in the living room or on the go with your smartphone or tablet. With Hulu Plus, you can watch your favorite TV shows like SNL, Jimmy Kimmel Live, Shark Tank, and Scandal. Watch every episode of shows like Lost, Law & Order, SVU, Doctor Who, and Community. You can also check out exclusive content, including Hulu originals like Doctor Who. That's not a Hulu original, but including Hulu originals and shows like Doctor Who Season 7 Part 2, which just launched February 18th. You also have other Hulu originals like Fresh Meat, which launched Season 3 February 9th. And you get access to a collection of ad-free movies and kids content. For only $7.99 a month, catch up on current shows, binge on old favorites, or catch a great movie. Stream as many TV shows and movies as you want, wherever you want. Right now, you can try Hulu Plus free for 2 weeks when you go to huluplus.com/patch. Special offer for our listeners. Make sure you use huluplus.com/patch. Get your extended free trial, and they know we sent you last time. huluplus.com/patch. It's on the screen if you're watching the video. It's right there. Get extended free trial. Big thanks to Hulu Plus. So what were we just talking about? We're talking about Wolfenstein.
Wolfenstein, yep. Is that the next big game that comes out for the one? Or just for any of the next gen consoles?
So that's May.
That's in May. I don't know anything
Infamous
comes out.
just came
Yeah.
out, so that's not an upcoming one anymore.
As far as I know, yes. That's the next
I don't know anything that
game
comes out in
I'm
April.
waiting for. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I guess we'll probably get some more release dates around E3.
Yeah.
Things will probably get solidified and announced. So probably by early June is when we'll start to see the summer and the fall. Everything get
Yeah.
release dates. The only thing I know that is in the future, like in the fall,
Yeah.
is Destiny. It's
Yeah.
just like September 9th, but everything else is still like a big question mark. So I don't know if you saw probably the weirdest bit of news to come out this past week was the Linkin Park music video made using Project Spark that they did not call Linkin Spark.
Missed opportunity. Can you believe that?
Barbara's got to be furious.
Yeah.
Totally missed it. So I guess you can if you have the Project Spark beta, which everyone with an
Yeah.
Xbox One or I think pretty much anyone with Windows 8 can also get it. You can I think you can download the music video and then remix it yourself. There's like audio mixing
pretty
tools
cool.
and reshoot it. So I watched it, on YouTube, and it's really dark. It's hard to see a lot of times. So I'd like to go in and edit it and add some more lights and then make it a little easier to see.
Just raise the brightness to max.
Yeah. I definitely, on my monitor, I was like maxing out the brightness.
Project Spark is a really cool game, but I know I will never touch it because I'm like creative enough to make anything like worth playing. But just to see like kind of like Trials Evolution, like a week what people make, and then like months and months of people making these like extravagant things.
Yeah.
Just like in Little Big Planet, I think like before the game actually came out, a dude made like a calculator or something. It's like, why would you make that? It's cool, but like why?
So you have a calculator on your phone.
Yeah, exactly.
Don't be an idiot.
There are a lot of things like that that people manage to take modding tools and create something that is incredibly cool
But
to
it's
look at.
impractical, yeah.
And you feel a little bad because everyone on the internet goes for about 10 seconds
Yeah.
and then they go to the next thing. And that guy probably spent months on that.
Well, I played Project Spark on my Xbox the other day, and like when you go, the interesting thing about it is it shows you like community highlights, like things that are popular, because you can download other stuff and then rate it.
Yeah.
Someone had made a Legend of Zelda type game in Project Spark. It's like
Yeah,
you play
really.
a character, you go like you get your sword, then you go to like Death Mountain and like run quests. And
That's really cool.
pretty cool.
Someone recreated the entire first quest of the original Fable in Project Spark. And it looked great. There's a lot that you can do. Although apparently by default it's all fantasy themed.
Oh, okay.
But you can, and the game is free, so I don't mind this quite so much. You can buy additional packs for like Western or space or anything like
Yeah.
that. So if you want to make, your own Mass Effect in Project Spark, you can, but you
Need to pay.
you're probably gonna need the pack.
How much are the
Otherwise, it's gonna
packs?
look weird. I don't know, like maybe $2.
Okay, it's not too bad.
Yeah, it's a little microtransaction-y. Like they apparently they used to be different. I just started playing it when they released the beta on the Xbox One, but apparently it was a lot more microtransaction.
Oh, yeah.
Like you only had a certain amount of time a day that you could play with
That's
content
weird.
you didn't own.
That's silly.
But now I guess they've removed that, and you can just roam around.
good.
Like for previously, I would have had to. If I didn't own the assets that the guy used, I would have had to pay to get them in order to be able to use them. But it's an interesting experiment. Like you said, I'm not nearly creative enough. Like I went through the tutorial, and I was like, wow, there's a lot you can do.
All right.
That's enough of that. I made like an army of squirrels that I controlled all at once. I beat the shit out of a goblin. That's about
There
it.
you go.
I want to mention, I haven't played it yet, but I would not be doing my job if I didn't bring it up.
Okay.
That BioShock Infinite Burial at Sea Episode 2 is, of course, out.
We forgot to mention we totally forgot about that game.
It's out, and
it's
this
out.
is it. This is the final bit of story that is going to exist for BioShock Infinite.
I know
a
it
little
added like a new
bittersweet.
mode too, like a 1998 mode, I think, where it's more stealth themed.
Yeah, it's like the goal is to get through the game without killing anyone.
Yeah, it's just like sneaking around.
Which
and
is
stuff.
cool.
Yeah, I know there's
and
an
it's-
achievement tied to it too.
Yeah, it's named after the 1998 Thief Deadly Shadows game.
Was that the last Thief before the one that came out? Or was that the first
No,
one?
I think that was the first
Okay.
Thief. It was made by Looking Glass, which is what the Irrational founders were from beforehand. So it's a nice nod back to their past.
Back to another studio they fired.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm still really sad about that.
That's really sad. But apparently, I had read that they had a job fair, and there was a good turnout by game developers who were there looking to hire people.
Yeah, I did hear, like when you saw the list of all the developers that were going to go there and do recruiting. I have high hopes for everyone. That doesn't mean they don't have to pack up their entire lives and their families and move across the country.
Like abruptly.
But
It seemed
they're
like
moving away from Boston, which is probably good, right? I mean, let's be honest.
PAX East, everybody.
Well,
Hey, speaking of which,
Boston's a great town. PAX East is great, but driving anywhere in that city scares the shit out of me because pedestrians don't care. It's like the closest you'll come to driving around, like in Grand Theft Auto. Like I have come closer to running over people there than anywhere else in the world. It's mad.
Are they just oblivious or are they just assume you're
No,
going
they
to
don't
stop?
care.
Oh,
like if you get close to hitting them, it's your fault. Fuck you. They're very loud about it.
well, and apparently you're not the only one who's scared of Boston, since Nintendo is also not going to PAX East.
Segue. That's a
wow.
segue.
Hey, do you like that?
Perfect, yeah.
Burn. That was down on my list of stuff to talk about, actually. So yeah, PAX East is coming up in a couple of weeks. You'll be there, right?
I will be there.
And we'll have a bunch of other people from the Achievement Hunter side of things.
Me, Michael, Gavin, Lindsay, and I think Monty as well will be there. Come and say hi.
So you'll be there. Nintendo will not be there.
Yeah.
But Ubisoft will also be there. And I read that they're going to have Watch Dogs there at their booth, at
I'm
their presence.
hoping that it's going to be playable there. I mean, it should be because it's
The
going
game's
to be
close to launch.
Yeah, exactly. If it's coming out in June, then they should have a really
Something that-
nice
yeah.
preview version of it for people to get some hands-on time with, which would be good since I guess after they released the newer trailers, everyone was saying it looked graphically a step back. So
Yeah.
this is either a chance for them to prove everyone wrong or not.
Shoot themselves in the foot, yeah.
Man, I thought that it was going to be hands-on, and I'm rereading the way they worded this here.
Yeah.
It's very ambiguous.
Watch Dogs?
Yeah.
Maybe they're waiting to see like if they get a build from the developers.
It could be. Ubisoft will bring titles like Watch Dogs, The Crew, and Trials Fusion to PAX East next month and offer attendees the opportunity to get hands-on time with Child of Light, Tom Clancy's Ghost Recon Phantoms, and Might and Magic Duel of Champions online card game. But they mention
that
Watch
doesn't
Dogs
sound
first,
promising.
Yeah.
and then don't mention it later.
You would think that if they were going to have hands-on, that they would be shouting that from the roofs.
In addition to getting hands-on time with select games, those who pre-order Watch Dogs or The Crew will receive a free T-shirt. They're also taking their the Next Level gaming tournament. I don't know if you've ever seen that. It's like it's almost like a casual esports thing.
Oh, yeah?
Wait. Casual esports?
Right. It's like it's not like a hardcore MOBA thing. They'll set up, kind of like a whole bunch of different games and invite attendees to just come up and play like a selection of different games to determine like it's kind of like if we took the Gauntlet seriously.
Oh.
And you play like a bunch of games to see.
I thought you did the first season.
Well, the first season we did. I'm talking about our most recent incarnation. But it's really cool, and I really like this idea. I feel like it's very similar. Like what they do with the Next Level is very similar to the idea we have with Center Stage at RTX, where watching people who are pros at esports is fucking amazing, but it's intimidating. You want to try to create an environment where anyone can walk up and
play,
have fun, and you don't feel like an ass, or you don't get fucking destroyed and hate your life.
So it's just like a pickup game.
Kind of,
Yeah, it's a good way to look at it.
So yeah, they're bringing that back. I'm actually really excited about that. I'm sorry I'm going to miss PAX because I would have loved to.
Is Child of Light back to that really artsy looking game that looks really pretty?
Yes,
that
it does
RPG
look
thing.
gorgeous.
It's this one. I've got a picture right here for you.
Oh yeah, that game looks pretty.
Yeah, that does.
Hopefully it plays well.
We'll put it in patch notes. Y'all will be able to see what we're talking about. But yeah, that's coming out. And then the full list of games Ubisoft will be showing at PAX East. Again, the full list of games Ubisoft will be showing at PAX East includes Watch Dogs, The Crew, Child of Light, Trials Fusion, Tom Clancy's Ghost Recon Phantoms, The Mighty Quest for Epic Loot, Might and Magic Duel of Champions online card game. They need to shorten that. And an unannounced downloadable title that will have its first hands-on demo during the show. Might and Magic Duel of Champions online card game.
One thing that gets a really long time.
So 8 games. It's not bad. Good
One
selection.
thing I remember Ubisoft doing last year was they had their demo area out, but then they also had their closed theater, kind of like a lot of studios do at E3, where people file in, sit down, and they get a hands-off demo.
Yeah, like you watch the developer play or
But
something.
2 months from launch, April to me.
Yeah, someone's pointing out that we forgot about Watch Dogs as like another title that's coming out. That comes out in May. We were talking about we were talking about Wolfenstein, but Wolfenstein does come out first, so we were right. So yeah, thanks to Disturbed Rebel 1 on Twitter for pointing that out.
What do you think he's disturbed about?
Maybe his hat.
Maybe
Looks a little dirty.
Maybe his rebellion.
Yeah, so lots of news with PAX. People are telling me on Twitter that apparently Sony has said they're not going to be at PAX East either, but I haven't read that on a news site and I haven't confirmed
Is
that.
Microsoft going to PAX?
Yes, I've seen them on the floor plan.
Okay.
I haven't looked for Sony. I should look and see if they're on there.
I think the reason that Nintendo's was of particular interest is the fact that this is the first one that they've missed.
Oh, right, yeah. Well,
The first PAX East, at least. I don't know about PAX Prime, but this is the first one that they've missed. Whereas sometimes the other platforms just don't go to the shows.
Well, it seems like PAX Prime would be easier for them out in Washington. They're Redmond-based also, right?
You would think so, yes.
Yeah, maybe now they're having to recover from the year of Luigi.
They're all taking a well-deserved rest.
Yeah, they're taking a bit of a rest. They're a little hungover on all of that fun. So yeah, we talked about BioShock Infinite. I feel like we covered all of that. So I want to talk about Infamous Second Son, but before I get to that, I wanted to talk with Ray about streaming.
It's me.
Because I started playing around with the PS4 streaming as well as the Twitch app on Xbox One for streaming
which
there.
just got released like a week or two ago, something like that.
I
Recently.
hadn't even used it, so I downloaded it last night and tried it out. So it seems to me like do you do any streaming or have you tested any of them, Ashley?
No, I haven't. I'm a very boring player. I just sit there and I scowl at the screen a lot. The idea of like trying to actually be conscious of what's going on that's not in the game.
Looking at a chat and looking,
I feel like I'd be very bad at multitasking that, and then people would just be like, eh.
I can relate. That's why I don't publicize my channel or anything. It's like I felt like I needed to try the technology.
Also, frankly, for me, a lot of times my game time is my downtime when I don't want to talk to anybody, and I also don't want to put on makeup.
You don't have to have your camera on.
No, face cam's the way of the future. Everybody has it.
So the way you stream, you have, a dedicated
Yeah.
capture environment similar to how, you capture footage here at Chimana.
Yeah.
So you run everything through like a capture card and,
Yeah.
it's all external. So there's no overhead on your console or anything like that.
Yeah, the only thing my console is doing is just playing the game.
Do you keep like a chat window up as well?
Yeah.
Like on your computer?
Well, I have multiple monitors, so like my left monitor will be chat, then I'll have my TV, and then the right monitor will be like all the programs and stuff running to make sure everything's running properly.
So the interesting thing, like I said, I tried both the PS4 solution and the Xbox One solution, and they're, but you would think that you're just going to stream, but it's actually two different fundamental approaches to the way that each console streams. So I started first with the PlayStation because it literally has the share button.
Yeah.
So it's like, all right, I'm gonna
Super
set this
convenient.
up. Yeah, you hit share, then it asks you, how do you want to? Or do you want to broadcast? Yes. Then it's like, do you want to broadcast on Twitch or Ustream? It's like, all right, Twitch. And then it's like, put in your username and password. You put it in. It's like, all right, great. Let's test your bandwidth. All right, this is what we're gonna do. Start broadcasting. Yes. And you just go. It's really, really easy. I was really impressed with how straightforward it was.
Yeah.
I felt like the video quality was a little lacking.
They're upgrading that, apparently.
Oh, are they? Okay.
Yeah, I think
Twitch
they're
has been
saying
there since
in the
launch,
next...
right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was their day one, which could not be said of Xbox One.
Yeah.
But I guess they're going to upgrade they're going to add the ability to stream at 720p, which isn't there right now.
Wait, it doesn't stream at 720p?
I guess not.
Oh.
I've never.
I know that they don't archive the footage. I think that's coming in
That's
an,
also
in an
coming.
upcoming patch.
Yeah.
It's where all your footage will be archived on the Twitch side, but that currently does not happen. So it's interesting. It's really easy, but like I said,
Yeah, it seemed like it takes you like 10 seconds.
yeah, the video quality was a little off. So last night I decided to try to download the Twitch app and do it on the Xbox One. I definitely had more trouble getting that set up.
That's what I've heard.
Yeah, I would encounter just errors. Like I would go to start broadcast and it wouldn't detect that I was playing Titanfall. And then I'd hit start broadcasting, then it would be checking your bandwidth, then it would take me back to the previous screen.
Yeah.
It never progressed. I ended up rebooting my Xbox, then I tried to relaunch the Twitch app, then it made me, then you don't log into the Twitch app. So you launch it and you say you want to broadcast, then you have to go to twitch.tv/activate and you put in a code.
Yeah.
And then
Do you have to do that every time or just once?
Just once.
Okay.
But mine got fucked up. And it wanted me to reactivate, but I went to the Twitch site and it would tell me invalid code. So I had to log into my Twitch account, unlink my Xbox One from Twitch, and then re-enter the new
Half
code.
an hour later.
And then it worked. And then again, I still had issues where it was it would testing broadband.
Yeah.
And then I rebooted again, and then it started working fine.
Do you have to hard reset or just
Hard
normal?
reset.
Okay.
And then after that, I didn't have any issues. But it was definitely 30 minutes of frustration where you're like, what the fuck? What's going on? But after all of that was done, I felt like the video quality was really sharp on that stream. I think it detected and was uploading it was streaming at 2,500 kilobits, which was great. It was super high quality. I think that's more than we
don't even
streamed
know what
this
that
podcast
means.
in. This podcast, I think we stream
Smoother.
1,700 kilobits.
Okay.
So 2.5 megabits.
So the patch app
Okay.
confirmed for the Xbox One.
So it's definitely more of a pain in the ass, but I felt like it looked
Hopefully
better.
you don't have to do that every time. Now that you have it set up, it's just go and you
Right.
go.
I'm hoping that there won't be any issues. So I did that last night.
Okay, someone's saying here that they just added archiving in the latest update for PS4, and that PS4 is streaming at 720p.
Okay, that's what I thought.
And also that Sony has confirmed they're not going to be at PAX East.
Wow.
Twitter, you guys are on the ball.
That's a lot of news. We should just broadcast the
Yeah.
Twitter feed. Fuck what we're talking
It's a
about.
terrible idea. Don't do it.
Okay, so someone else here said the same thing. Vulture G5 on Twitter said that for the most part, it seems like people have that same issue where stream on Xbox One works fine after the second install. That most people have trouble on that first install. They got to do the unlink and then do another install, and then it works fine.
So I guess it still needs some work.
Yeah,
I
still
imagine
needs
that
to be patched.
This guy.
they must have been rushing it. I'm sure they said get it in by Titanfall or
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
I mean,
same
that's
thing with
'cause that's a big
the
thing.
update for the parties and stuff. That was all
Right.
before Titanfall.
So,
Yeah.
like we talked about, I don't stream typically because I'm shitty. I suck at games. I don't want people to see it. So when I streamed a lot of Infamous Second Son just because I was messing around with it over the weekend, and
Yeah.
I have an unlisted Twitch account. No one watch.
what's your channel?
I'm not gonna say. I don't care. So nobody watches. It's just me. I'm
Yeah.
the only watcher on my laptop, just looking at the video quality, seeing how it works. And then so last night I decided to do the same thing with Titanfall, and I forget that on the Xbox One you can have followers who see when you're broadcasting. So it's I was playing, and it's all right, video looks good. Wait, what? And then I could see the watch count increase. Oh shit! And then some people were tweeting at me oh wow, you're doing good, Gus. And I was like, oh no.
Did you have to keep it up at that point and just pretend that
Or did you just
you'd meant
abandon
to
the
be doing
stream?
it all
Just
along?
I just abandoned
Just
it.
ended it and
I got to the end of the round, and I was like, all right, that's it. Because
It's a test.
I didn't want to quit on my team in the middle. It was
Good guy,
it
Gus.
was attrition, and we lost. So that was embarrassing
sorry.
enough.
Do you escape at least?
No, I did not escape. I think I got stepped on. No, I didn't I got shot.
Well, it's good you didn't quit out early.
Yeah.
The reputation system, I guess, is the Xbox One reputation system is kicking in this week, where they're actually going to start notifying people who end up with poor reputation.
I forgot that even exists. Like all my friends are in the green.
I haven't
Apparently
seen it
they
move
showed like
anywhere.
a diagram. It's like green, and then like yellow is like need work, orange is need work, and then red is like fuck this person, he sucks.
Yeah.
That's exactly what it's labeled
Yeah,
as.
it's like a whole big thing.
It's like the Homeland Security thing.
Pretty
This
much.
person is a terrorist.
Yeah, I've
Yeah.
never seen like yellow, let alone the other ones.
Well, maybe now with this update, you'll start to see it
Yeah.
more.
Yeah, I'm not sure if maybe they just weren't registering it or what the deal was. Because you're right, I haven't, since Xbox One launched, I haven't seen that
Yeah.
move. So maybe they're just waiting. But I guess people who are jerks and who, quit out or get bad feedback or blocked or muted are going to start getting warnings.
They should just be putting games with each other.
They're going to be.
Yes.
That's what the red means,
Okay.
is they'll start to be, their matchmaking will be restricted. Kind of like, I guess, Killer Instinct's jail.
I get so pissed off anytime I'm playing a game and there's someone talking. I don't know why.
Yeah.
Just anyone talking about
Right.
anything.
It's like, shut up. I just instantly mute. I'm like, I don't want to hear you.
So
Yeah,
basically,
If I'm not in a, like, the only time I want to hear my teammates is if I'm in a party with them and they're people I
Yeah.
know. If it's just random people, like, I'm not, no, shut up. So I mute
fair
them
enough.
immediately.
I do the same thing where I have everybody muted by like default, but if I even see like their mic flickering in game, I will double mute them. I'm like, don't say anything, don't
Just
speak. Yeah, I just don't want to hear you at all.
So yeah, I want to get back to Infamous Second Son because I'd already forgotten. Luckily, someone just reminded me. So I bought Infamous Second Son, obviously, and I played it over the weekend. I finally finished it last night. It's probably about 11, 12 hours up for one playthrough. But you can play if you want all the trophies. You probably have to play. You definitely have to play through multiple
twice,
times
yeah.
because there's like morality choices.
Yeah, it's good and bad.
Yeah, and you can do good and bad. I think there's trophies associated for both good and bad endings. I played for the most part good. The game I thought was solid. Totally solid game. For me, it's on par with like Dead Rising 3. It's like what you hope to have at a launch title. It's like it's a really pretty game. It's got some fun gameplay mechanics. Story-wise, it's a little lacking. But again, I think of Dead Rising 3, which is like just stupid.
What story?
Right,
Yeah.
exactly. I wish there was more to it in that sense. But it's totally fine. It's got some really cool graphic effects, like we talked about the other day, like the neon.
God,
like
the
seeing
neon
that,
looks so cool.
streak across.
Did you see there's like a whole thread on Reddit that the light on the PlayStation 4 controller will glow depending how you're doing in Infamous.
It does?
Yeah, so like if you're starting to be bad, like it'll like be like a light red, but if you're like full evil, it's like dark red. It's like Satan's in your controller.
That's really
Yeah.
cool.
A big part of the game, well, not a big part of the game, but one of the aspects of the game is you have to create street art. So you like go up to like designated places and you paint art, you like stencils, and whatever color you're spray painting, that's the color of the controller.
Oh, that's pretty
So
cool.
if you're spray painting like yellow, then the light on the controller turns yellow. And
That's such a weird thing. Like we're excited over the light on a controller, like changing color.
yeah,
It's a cool touch.
It's a cool touch. Yeah.
Well, one of the things I was testing when I did my PS4 streaming is, there's that little speaker in the PS4 controller.
Yeah.
And that game uses it a lot for audio cues. So like when you're doing the spray painting, for example, you're supposed to turn the controller on its side and shake it, and it makes like the rattling
Yeah.
noise, and then it makes like the hiss of the spray paint. And you got to move your controller. You're like,
Do you
this.
remember the game on the PlayStation 2 where like the Xbox Mark Echo was getting up? It was like a graffiti game. It's like a third-person graffiti game.
Jet Set Radio?
No, it was a Mark Echo graffiti game. I know about Jet Set Radio and
No.
stuff. Yeah, I don't know how it's sold or anything like that, but it would be cool to see another graffiti game, which is just something like that. That was a terrible motion.
The graffiti,
Terrible
you know?
motion, yeah. Fucking love graffiti. Sometimes I just dual graffiti. Even for like, it's just cool that like the light or just like the little sound effects, just like the little touches they put into it, how it could be like used in future games.
Yeah, so the interesting thing was all of those sound cues went through on the stream. So I was
Oh,
like, yeah,
cool.
because that's not sound that you hear on your like your
Yeah.
TV or your speakers.
So it
'cause
could
it's
get
here.
missed.
Right. So I thought that maybe it wouldn't translate through, but no, those audio cues go through into the streaming as well, which is neat. But yeah, it's really fun. It makes me think a lot of Far Cry 3. Where you have in Far Cry 3 you have an island.
Yeah.
In Infamous Second Son you have a city that's like under lockdown, and you go to like the different districts and you like have to attack like camps.
Yeah.
And you like do things to subvert the overall control, which again is like similar to Far Cry 3.
Yeah,
It's like
you go to
you have like this fun couple minutes of gameplay and then you replicate it over the whole city.
Yeah.
And it's things like destroying encampments, shooting down drones, making street art, and things like that.
That looks fun.
Here's my question. Out of all of the different conduit abilities that you can absorb and get throughout the game, without telling us exactly which ones were the neon or the smoke, which are the ones that were in the trailers and people know about without playing the game. Were either of those the best ones, or was one of the other ones the best ones?
I like neon the most just because it has the coolest visual effect. I like seeing it. And from a utility standpoint, neon helps you run up buildings faster. Oh, well, there is one ability you get later. I don't know if there was a trailer for it, but that actually lets you run up the buildings faster.
That was in the trailers. Well, I don't know about run up them faster, but you could run up the buildings.
Like in Prototype?
In Neon, you can run up buildings, but there's another ability you get later that you can also run up buildings, but it's faster than Neon.
Ooh.
So that one makes more sense, but the Neon just looks cooler.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a matter of aesthetic choices. When the interesting thing about that game is no, it's interesting, but one of the things about that game is you get all of these powers, but you can't ever have them all at once. So like if you have smoke, you don't have neon. Then if you switch to neon, you don't have smoke.
And how do you switch? Can you do it between
you have
missions?
To find it in the world. So it's like if you see a car on fire that's smoking, you can absorb the smoke and then you have smoke powers. If you see a neon sign, you walk up to it and you drain the neon out of it and then you have neon powers.
I'm excited to play Infamous. I tried to buy it the other night, but I was having troubles like authorizing the credit card and all that stuff, and I was like, or I could just go to bed. Yeah. I'm so tired. But it looks amazing. I really want to play it.
I have drank the Kool-Aid for digital delivery. I'm all about it. I think I bought Dead Rising 3 when the Xbox One came out because I was still in the old mindset. I regret buying Dead Rising 3. I wish I had downloaded it.
See, I am almost on board with the digital thing, except that trying to buy Lightning Returns gave me no end of troubles. And then, actually, you know what? That's not true. Even the physical disc gave me problems.
Oh, really?
That game just gave you problems?
It did, because it's region locked and my Xbox was Australian. So I couldn't buy it digitally on an Australian Xbox with a US Xbox Live account or put a US game in an Australian console. It was a whole thing. So basically, all delivery needs work.
Yeah.
Nah, digital delivery is great. Works fine for me.
Yeah.
Buy, download, all right, ready to go.
That is how I get most of my games now, and it's really convenient.
Yeah, like the only disc I have is Dead Rising 3. It's such a pain. I'm tempted to go back and buy it digitally just so I don't have to
That'll show you.
in the drive.
Did you play any of the DLC for Dead Rising 3?
I played the first two. Like the first one's the soldier guy.
Yeah, and the second
one
one
is
is
Fallen Angel, I think.
the
I
girl.
played both of those, and I've gotten distracted. I haven't gone back and played the other ones.
They all pretty much play out the same. Like, they're not great DLC by any means. Like, half of the achievements are story-based, and the other half are collectibles. It's like 4 or 5 story missions, and the rest is like, collection on the map if you want. So it's like,
I assume you've 100%ed it.
Absolutely.
Your gamer score is absolutely ridiculous. I think
I broke 400,000 recently.
Someone on Reddit posted a comparison of all the gamer tags in the office and what their achievements are, and there was Ray.
Yeah.
The next one was like this tall in comparison.
If you think you're hot shit, I'm about to break 40,000. So back off.
I think I'm gonna break 30,000 soon. What up?
It's like I don't go out of my way. I don't chase.
It's crazy to think like I have 400,000 whatever, and that's taken me 8 years or whatever, and then Stallion, who has more than double my gamer score. It's just like I worked this hard, and this guy's like 2.5 times the man I am. It's crazy.
You know, on that last night before he got the achievement, he was streaming and everything.
Yeah.
And he started the night something like 1,000 points away. But he had a system down where he'd switch games, he'd get an achievement, switch to a game.
He kept looking at his monitor, and I assume he had like a game title and an achievement he can get, and just like mathematical, because he wanted to get to 1 million exactly, which he did in Titanfall. But it was like a whole thing.
Yeah, but it was very much a play of efficiency where the score was the thing, not necessarily game completion. Which I'm not criticizing at all, because I thought that hitting 1 million exactly was a pretty cool.
It was cool that he streamed it.
Yeah,
streaming's cool. I like streaming.
Let me read this thing. Remind everyone, this episode of The Patch is also brought to you by NatureBox. Your mission is to snack smarter and get in shape by summer. Your enemy is the vending machine. Careful with that water, dude. But when you're starving at 3 p.m., cranky and lightheaded, the evil vending machine can seem like your only friend. Don't give in. Head over to naturebox.com. NatureBox sends great tasting snacks right to your door, and they're great for you, too. We're talking healthy snacks like barbecue kettle kernels, everything bagel sticks, South Pacific plantain chips, and over 100 more. 0 trans fats, 0 high fructose corn syrup, nothing artificial, even snacks that are gluten conscious and non-GMO. They've got free shipping anywhere in the U.S. NatureBox is busting up the vending machine's monopoly on your midday hunger. Try NatureBox right now. Get 50% off your first box by going to naturebox.com/thepatch. You see it on the screen again. That's naturebox.com/thepatch. Stay full, stay strong. Go to naturebox.com/thepatch and get 50% off your first box. We have a box over here, but you all can't eat it because those are all noisy. You can eat the sweet blueberry almonds later. Those are really good. what else do we have?
I had some before the stream, and now I'm
I
hungry
haven't tried
again.
the Santa Fe corn sticks. I'll try those later too. All right. So where was I? Talking about Infamous Second Son. Apparently, the release of Infamous Second Son helped spike the PS4 sales in the UK 106%.
Just the UK or just overall?
Well, just the UK.
Okay.
I don't think they release all of those numbers
Gotcha.
everywhere, but I think they release them in the UK.
Yeah,
when
the exact
Titanfall
numbers.
came
Yeah, I
out.
was gonna say Microsoft did something or released information with Titanfall.
Yeah, when
Similar.
Titanfall came out in the UK again, it was a 96% increase. And I guess Infamous Second Son helped the PS4 jump 106%.
Yeah.
That's good.
I imagine it's easier to get that reporting from an isolated region, and the UK is going to be reasonably representative of
Yeah.
at least the Western markets about how that's going. So they do tend to get it like Monday morning. They can say, "Hey, this game came out on Friday, and this is how many consoles sold over the weekend." A little bit easier, but it's really impressive for both consoles.
And I even read that Sony has said that they don't think they'll be able to catch up to the PS4 demand. It'll be a limited supply until after E3. They said until early summer
Is that good
Wow.
or bad?
2014. What's good? They're selling. I mean, I would say it's bad if it launched like the Wii, which was like super supply constrained.
Yeah.
But this is like selling like crazy, and they're churning through
But
it.
do you think in this instance, like someone would be like, I'm just gonna buy an Xbox. Like, why wait?
Well, the only thing that I'm a little bit confused about, and maybe they just happened to get they timed a lot of shipments in time for Infamous Second Son, is how sales doubled if they were actually out.
It's an interesting point.
And like I said, maybe they just made sure they said, we know this is going to be a big release. We need to
We're
get
gonna push
shipments
consoles
in.
out. Yeah.
But that can artificially inflate the numbers a little bit, because it can also just be that they came in right at that time. So
Well, it worked.
it
even if they did it or
absolutely
not.
worked, and it's impressive regardless.
Yeah.
The PS4 is doing really well, except in Japan.
I don't understand that.
It's really weird. There's a comparison showing how Wii U did in its first 3 weeks, and Wii U has not been an impressive seller by any means, and it ended up being 150,000 shy of Wii U's first 3 weeks. The first 2 days it sold like 300,000, but then the next week it sold 65,000 the whole week,
Was it
and then
supply
like
constrained?
30 something thousand. I don't know. Maybe.
Yeah, it could be a
Maybe
supply issue.
they all went to the UK.
Yeah.
Maybe they're like, I'll send a shit over there. So someone asked me a question here on Twitter. BMac92 asked if I tried Infamous Paper Trail. Well, I've started. I haven't really gotten into it yet, but it's like a ARG type thing where there's a website you go to and you log in and you link your PSN account to it that then unlocks alternate side missions in the
Yeah?
game. And like I think for some of it you have to like use your computer and your web browser. And you go back and forth between the two. I don't know much about it. I haven't really gotten into that. I just finished the game last night. Then I had to test the Twitch streaming, so I have not
Infamous
gotten a
had
Paper
like
Trail.
a day one update that had like added content, right? Like a lot of content.
Yeah.
Like
They had
5
a-
hours or something. They
They had
said.
a day one patch.
Yeah, it was like 5 hours of gameplay. It was a lot
Yeah.
of stuff.
I'm looking up the exact right here. Its post-release patch introduced support for the Cole's Legacy pre-order content pack and the ARG-like Paper Trails mission, which I just talked about, which add an estimated 5 hours of campaign playtime over 6 weeks of planned content updates. So yeah, Paper Trail challenges players to seek out clues released online to continue a 19-mission side story within Second Son that supplements the core campaign.
That's
So it's
cool.
an interesting like mixture of ARG and gameplay.
I like that.
Getting out of the game.
I'll be
It's
interested in
interesting.
seeing how it plays out over the several weeks.
Yeah, I think I did a good playthrough my first time. I think I'm gonna go back and do an evil playthrough, and I'll probably do the Paper Trail stuff then.
I always mean to do evil playthroughs on those kind of karma games. I can never do it. I feel
Nah, it's easy.
so bad.
Nah, they're fake people.
One of the like you wear, I'm sure you've seen in the trailers, your character wears that jean jacket with like the red and the blue birds on the back, and if you do more good stuff, like the pattern changes, like. The blue takes off and it's like destroying the red.
Oh, yeah?
And then if you're more evil, like the red
Vice
bird,
versa,
yeah,
yeah.
destroys the blue.
It's nice to have visual touches like that are a little bit more subtle than something like Fable did, where you suddenly
You have horns.
You're
like have
evil.
horns. Yeah, exactly.
One of the things I wish they had done was make more nuance to the karma system. So it's like I did mostly good things, but I did some bad things too. But
It really didn't register.
yeah,
You
it
did
really
bad
doesn't
things.
register. Like you don't progress your evil level if your good level's too high, if that makes sense.
Will you being evil change the story at all?
You get different choices and you can run different missions.
Oh, okay.
So like you sometimes rescue other conduits.
So that sounds
And-
pretty significant.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
you can either like redeem them or like
Absorb them.
corrupt them.
Now, what a lot of people have been saying is the Infamous Second Son is pretty short, but that you could kind of theoretically double the game time by doing the 2 playthroughs. Is that fair?
I don't think so.
Nah, me either.
There's a lot of side missions too. I finished it in probably like 10 or 11, or maybe like 11 hours. I think we did all the side missions. I didn't do all of them
That
yet.
seems pretty long.
You can probably
Yeah, that's actually
Yeah,
not
you can
bad
extend
at
it to
all.
probably
That's-
15 or 16. It's a decent length game.
Okay.
It's longer than I was expecting.
I'm not worried about 15, 16 hours at all if it was like a
No.
5-hour game, maybe.
I don't know if it's just me, but I was also happy to see a video game. Maybe it's just me. A video game with a minority protagonist.
It's definitely
who was
just
like,
you.
Not, not like, I don't know, like super stereotypical. It was nice. It was like he's a Native American, protagonist who.
How do you feel about Nick Ramos in Dead Rising 3?
They didn't play that up at all.
No,
it was just his name,
Nick
which was
Ramos.
great.
Yeah.
I liked that. This one they did play up a little bit more, but I mean, it's cool to see a little more diversification in games. That's the touchy-feely side of the patch. So Valve released their Dota 2 documentary, free to play. I don't know if you guys have watched it, but
wanna
apparently
see that.
It's been watched 5.5. It's had over 5.5 million views less than a
Jesus.
week.
I love that. That's great.
It's like a full-length movie, right? Like it's over.
You can watch it on their YouTube channel. It's like an hour and a half, I think, or an hour and 20 minutes. So yeah, it's a documentary about people. It follows 3 professional Dota 2 players from around the world as they prepare themselves for a shot at $1 million tournament purse. So I mean, it's free. Why wouldn't you?
Yeah.
It says you can watch it on iTunes. You can get the full film on Steam, and you can also get it on
YouTube,
iTunes for $10. And
Honestly-
you can watch it for free otherwise, or pay $10 and get it on iTunes.
Weird.
Whatever.
Honestly, this is the kind of thing that would make me more interested in esports. I kind of feel like for me, video game esports are a little bit like NASCAR, where the watching it, I'm impressed by it, but it's a little bit hard to.
Doesn't keep you entertained.
Yeah, like that in itself. Like I look at it and I go, "That's really cool. That's pretty cool," but I don't have a sense of just how much skill it takes.
Yeah.
And I feel like it's
Do you think
very
it's
much a
'cause-
story of the people who are playing.
Do you think it's because you're unfamiliar with the games? Do you think
Yeah,
maybe if it was...
in some cases, and in some cases, I can be like, "Yeah, that was a sweet snipe."
Yeah.
But even so, like they're playing for all intents and purposes a different game than I
Yeah.
play.
Yeah.
But I like the idea of learning the stories behind the players, like how they got there, where they're from, all that sort of stuff. I just think that's really interesting. It's a bit more of a people sport, like NASCAR.
Yeah.
That's how you make it interesting to me.
You gotta
And
have
sponsors.
that personal story and
Yeah,
sponsors.
that's lots of sponsors.
Lots of sponsors.
I want to see jackets just like covered. in patches.
There's a Call of Duty, like the big Call of Duty tournament that's this weekend for $1 million. It's, I don't know, it's at least interesting to me since I play a lot of Call of Duty, just to see like, obviously, yeah, they're playing on another skill level and stuff, but just to see like teams of 4 just play the game like completely differently, at least to how I see it. Because when you play a team game in Call of Duty, it's mainly 6-on-6, and to break it down to 4v4 and just how fast paced it is, and I don't know, super cool to me.
So a typical COD game 6-on-6.
Yeah.
So why were people so fucking pissed off about Titanfall being 6v6?
Because they wanted to be upset about something.
Okay, I didn't realize. I obviously I don't play a lot of Call of Duty, so I didn't realize that was the
6-on-6
number.
I think is fine for Titanfall.
Yeah.
I remember playing in the beta, and the same thing now in the retail version. Like, there's still a lot going on. Like, sometimes you forget there's 11 other players besides you in the game.
Yeah.
Just running around, because there's like obviously you have the grunts and the specters, and obviously you have titans, and then sometimes like the monsters come out of nowhere. There's a lot going on.
I got killed by a Spectre the other day. I was really
Did you?
embarrassed because I wasn't paying attention to them because I was like, whatever, Spectres. I was
Yeah.
like shooting at some dude, and yeah, I mean, he ended up
they'll
actually killing me. I was
kill
like,
you,
God damn, how fucking I hope no one saw that. Luckily, I wasn't
Well-
streaming.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was really embarrassing. I think we talked about the rumor last week about Assassin's Creed Unity.
Not
but
a rumor.
It has subsequently been verified.
Yay.
Unity is the next Assassin's Creed game. Is that a working title or a code name, or is that the final title?
Is that the 360
Hard
one
to
or the
say.
Xbox?
That's going to be the
one?
Xbox
Yeah, okay.
One
Or
version.
the-
They haven't
and
said any.
PS4.
Yeah.
Next-
the next this gen,
Current gen?
current
Yeah,
gen.
they haven't said anything about the alleged current gen
Yeah, if
game
you-
yet. So this is the next gen one. Next gen being Xbox One and PS4.
If you watch this trailer, at the end, the boilerplate has the PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and PC logos. But of course, doesn't, like you said, doesn't mention
Yeah.
PS3 or 360.
Yeah.
So there might still be credibility to the rumor that there could be a different game on those platforms.
I believe it just, if for no other reason than because the rumors about this one were so spot on and they were very detailed.
Even the pictures.
Down
Yeah.
to he's gonna have a blue outfit and it's gonna be red and it's gonna be set during this time with all sorts of things. Ubisoft's got to be pissed at whatever developer was on a plane and showed some random fucking kid
I think
their next game.
I think it was internal because there were screenshots in those rumors. and images.
The initial post on NeoGAF, like this is the one before the images came out. The initial post was basically just he was describing everything that happened on the plane flight because he sat next to a developer, and the developer showed him and explained all this stuff, and that's where the information came from.
Why would he do that?
And I know they're like, but then the screenshots came out and all completely corroborated that, and so yes, Ubisoft went, all right, well,
might as well. Yeah.
Let's take control of this now.
Do you think maybe that was
This is
like
why
a
we can't have
planned
nice
leak?
things.
I can't imagine someone being on a plane and just like showing a random stranger that shit.
E3 is a few months away. Why not just wait till then?
Well, I get the feeling that's what they wanted to do.
That's what they want to do, yeah.
But, some people, you get excited about what you're working on, and it turns out you're sitting next to someone who loves what you do, and you just go, you're going to really like the next one.
Yeah, but people,
That's it. You're going to like it.
People on the plane with me aren't like, oh, you work for Rooster Teeth? Yeah, hey, by the way, you want to know what's going on? I'm not spilling my guts constantly.
Yeah, well, maybe he hasn't had a lot of media training. Who knows?
Maybe. That's unfortunate.
Game
Not
looks
for
cool,
us, though.
Yeah,
for us,
for
it's
us.
great news because we got it confirmed.
I'm always
Jack's
paranoid.
got to be so happy.
I
yes.
used to travel with like a screen protector, like a privacy screen for my laptop.
What, you mean those ones that you, drop over?
Yeah, you put it in
And
front of
only-
your
yeah,
monitor,
you can
and
only
only
see
you
it.
can see
Yeah.
it from dead on. Then if someone's sitting next to you, they can't see your screen. Because if I was working on like emails or something I didn't want other people
Yeah.
to see, I just like drop it on
Understandable.
and work on it. But I haven't had one for a while now. Now I don't do sensitive stuff on the plane because I'm not a fucking idiot. So yeah, I guess Unity will not be a PAX East. That was not on the list of stuff that they're taking. But I'm sure we'll see more about it. E3. E3's first week of June, right?
First or second?
It's early June. I think
June?
it might be first.
So we're still a ways away from that. So then of course after E3, the next big show is RTX, which is July 4th to
Yes.
6th.
Woo!
Just throwing that
Buy your
out there.
tickets now.
Buy your tickets now. So yeah, we're gonna start our first round of press releases for RTX this week. There's some bigger ones that we
Stop
can't announce
leaking,
yet.
Gus.
Yeah, you want to leak it now? or-
Yeah. hey, you think you like RTX? Let me show you some stuff. Then we'll have some other bigger ones come in the coming weeks as well. So it's
awesome.
It's gonna be awesome. We gotta figure out what the Achievement Hunter guys are doing there. Last year, y'all had
We'll show up.
the Minecraft area. Maybe
It's not
someone
bad for all the people that had to wait in line. Like,
Yeah, we'll definitely do our best to fix that also this year. We have some consultants helping us
yeah?
out with moving people around
awesome.
and figuring out how to properly manage queues.
Just tell me where to be and I'll be there.
Good. I like that attitude. So this really, I don't know how newsworthy this is, but I guess Smite finally launched yesterday, the 25th. It's been out for over a year now.
Yeah.
In beta.
But they finally launched. They had a cinematic trailer to, I guess, celebrate their launch. There it is.
Yep.
I always liked cinematic trailers.
I feel
Get you pumped.
You got to be careful
do.
though. If you put out a cinematic trailer before you see gameplay, it can set expectations inappropriately. But in this case, it's a game like we said that has been out in beta for over a year. People who play the game know what the game's about. So it's like something like this. It's like it's like a celebration of what's been going on, and it's a game I like. We used it in Gauntlet Season 2.
It's at RTX.
I think
we did 2 Let's Plays on it, or 1. I don't remember. Did a few Let's Plays.
Yeah, I think I was the only person on my team in the Gauntlet who had ever played it. Unfortunately, I think
So sorry.
our opponent's team had all played it, so I was a little screwed. Could not take everyone out. But yeah, so that's been a long time
congrats
coming.
to them.
I'm glad to see it out. Yeah, that's awesome. They did a good thing. I don't know. I actually need to read up on this. So I know when it was in beta, you could pay to unlock all of the
characters,
gods.
yeah.
I don't know if that deal is still going on now that they're officially launched. I don't know if that was like a beta only deal. I'm going to click on my link here and see if I can
Alright.
pull up
Do
some
some
information.
research.
I got to do it fast because we're running out of time. Cinematic teaser earlier this year. So earlier this year, they received a new arena map with fully updated art and a God of Earth character called Geb or Jeb. I don't know how to say it. So
Jeb.
ability, blah, blah, blah. Smash your arena map, blah, blah, blah. The team loses. Windows PC. Yeah. So I guess the Windows PC beta began in June 2012. I thought it was like January 2013. I didn't realize it's been that long.
almost
Clearly,
2 years, yeah.
you're wrong.
Yeah. And drawn in more than 750,000 player accounts since then. Full version rolls out today. Doesn't say anything about their monetization strategy. I got to get back to it. I feel like I've been buried by so many goddamn games. One of the things I want to talk about today, we don't have much time left, is I didn't realize that there was no NDA on this, but I got into the Heroes of the Storm technical alpha.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, so you can talk about it. They even let you stream it and make videos if you want. So there's plenty of streams if you want to watch good people play Heroes of
You
the
can be
Storm.
one of those people.
No, I could not. So Heroes of the Storm is the Blizzard MOBA game, which I guess is now in technical alpha and be reaching beta soon.
It's really exciting.
It's a work in progress. It's not polished at all. There's a lot of placeholder stuff. I'm surprised that they don't have an NDA and they're letting people stream it. They must have a lot of confidence in it and the work that they're doing.
With between that and Hearthstone and Dota, Blizzard's really getting on board with the whole free-to-play thing, and they seem to be doing a fantastic job with it as well.
Well, they're a good studio. They know what they're doing. I mean, they have a long pedigree. I don't remember when they were founded. They were founded, like in 95? No, earlier than that. I take it back, sorry. Because 96 was Warcraft 2. So they were probably founded in the early 90s. So they've probably been around for first game? Over 20 years. Their first game was it The Lost Vikings?
God,
they made an RC car racer.
I know the Lost Vikings. I remember playing on the Genesis.
It's like she'll look it up.
Yeah.
So in related news, I'm gonna vamp while you look that up.
You're gonna vamp?
Yeah. Insomniac just had their 20th anniversary, so they put out like a rock video, like a music video.
Yeah.
Like highlighting their 20-year history, and it had Ted Price, who's one of the founder of Insomniac, and they're working on Sunset Overdrive currently for the Xbox One.
So
but they made Ratchet and Clank, Spyro the Dragon. What was their first
Okay,
game?
here we go. RPM Racing for the SNES.
RPM Racing, I fucking called it.
And
I did it again. I was graffitiing.
Their second one was the Lost Vikings.
Fucking yeah. What years were those?
So RPM Racing came out in 1991. The Lost Vikings came out in 1992.
Oh, so they're 23 years old. They'll be hitting 25 here pretty soon. All right. Well, it's time to wrap.
Yeah.
So drop a beat. I don't know. All right. We'll be back on Monday with another episode of RT Podcast, and next Wednesday with another episode of Patch. Thanks for watching, everyone. We'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.